ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of Jay Shah, Vice President and Head Cultural Outreach, Mahindra Group, Teamwork Arts and the Meta Secretariat, a very warm welcome to the Conversations at Meta. The Mahindra Excellence in Theatre Awards, now in its 17th year, continues to applaud the finest in Indian theatre and set benchmarks for excellence. The last 2 years, as the world grappled with a pandemic, the show didn't stop for Meta and saw the Meta stage going virtual with magnificent productions showcased online for theatre lovers and connoisseurs. Finally, in 2022, the 17th edition of Meta will be a physical showcase of 4 award-winning plays from Meta 2020, the landmark 15th edition of Meta between July 7th to the 10th. These series of conversations preceding the plays will take you through a journey behind these plays covering aspects of scripting, stage design, adaptations, costumes, and more. A very warm welcome once again to this conversation at the Meta 2022. Today's conversation is on the play Ghoom Nei, on the lights, costume, and sound design. The panelists for this conversation are Saurav Palodhi, Apratim Sarkar, Soumen Chakraborty, Debdeep Mukherjee, moderated by Bishnupriya Dutt. Ghoom Nei, directed by Saurav Palodhi, is an adaptation of Utpal Dutt's classic. The Meta 2020 winner excels in sound design, lighting, and costume. This conversation with the play's sound, light, and costume design will shed light on the integral role of these design elements in the trajectory of a compelling stage production. Introducing our panelists for today. Saurav Palodhi. Starting at the age of 16, Saurav Palodhi is a full-time theatre practitioner, film director, theatre director, actor, and scriptwriter for theatre and films. He has directed many theatre productions, of which Natakar Naam Ki was performed in NSD's Bharat Rang Mahotsav 2016 and Theatre Olympics 2018. Apratim Sarkar has acted in several plays all over India. He has directed several off-proscenium plays. Edward Albee's Zoo Story is his latest work on the proscenium stage. He is an excellent music operator and an efficient stage manager as well. Soumen Chakraborty is a renowned light designer from Kolkata. He has designed innumerable theatre productions, a number of which have received appreciation and acclaim from all over India. He has worked with theatre directors like Devesh Chattopadhyay, Sujan Mukhopadhyay, Suman Mukhopadhyay, amongst others. Debdeep Mukherjee, graduating with honours in instrumental music, Debdeep also completed his master's with Saurav as his specialization. After working for a music company as a copywriter and a creative producer, Debdeep started working as a band member at Silajit Live from 2015 to 2019. This conversation is moderated by Bishnupriya Dutt. Bishnupriya is Professor of Theatre and Performance Studies in the School of Art and Aesthetics, Jawaharlal Nehru University, Delhi, India. Her area of research includes politics and theatre, feminist readings of Indian theatre and contemporary performance practices, and popular culture. Her recent publications include Performing Gestures at Protests and Other Sites, Rethinking Categories of Theatre and Performance, Archive Scholarship and Practices, among others. Bishnupriya has been involved in active theatre in Calcutta since the 1960s with the Little Theatre Group and later People's Theatre, where she performs and directs. Ladies and gentlemen, presenting Ghoom Nei, lights, costume, and sound design. Saurav Palodhi, Apratim Sarkar, Soumen Chakraborty, and Debdeep Mukherjee, moderated by Bishnupriya Dutt. Over to you, Bishnupriya.
Thank you, Judith. It's such a pleasure that, Ghoom Nei was revived. I don't remember in my lifetime that I ever saw a production of Ghoom Nei. And so my first, way of starting it is Why Ghoom Nei now? What is its relevance? It's a play about the working class, right? About laborers, people who toil and labor on the roadsides. So, what does it mean for neoliberal India, where we see the march of capitalism in nexus with very conservative politics? So, Saurav, it's up to you, and then others can please join in. Saurav, do you want to come in about the relevance and significance of Ghoom Nei today? Why did you choose the play? What made you sort of work on it? What has been your dramaturgical inputs? How have you changed the text and adapted it?
Yeah, thank you very much, Didi. Thank you very much. Actually, we opt to do Ghoom Nei in these circumstances in 2022. We made this in 2019, but it is still relevant in 2022, and I'm quite sure it will be relevant till theatre lasts, till human lasts. It will be relevant. The form of a labor union, how much it is needed in this time when we are living in a society where we each and everybody can see that Swiggy delivery boy, Uber cabs, Ola cabs, they are all into unorganized sector. They are not into an organized sector. If they made into an accident, if anything happens, nobody will stood with them against the boss, against the company, against the that capitalist head. The need of organized sector, Ghoom Nei reflects that the need of a organized sector where we can speak about union, and union can speak about the needs of the laborers. That is the most important part. We chosen Ghoom Nei as our text to do in 2019, and still it is relevant.
Do you want to just pick up on, I know you've made a lot of changes in the language, in the dialogue. You've used a lot of very interesting, what we say, Billingsgate, how the people talk, like, abuse, putting it out there. So do you want to talk a little bit about how you work with the script?
Yeah, actually, in our society, many audience think that Ghoom Nei is of a different class of people's act, and we can't relate to that terminology that is very loose talk or usage of slangs. In normal ambience, the people coming from a good house, coming in a good car, they are not relating the term, because all actors belong to a different class and they are speaking loose languages, which is actually their language, which is absolutely their language. They speak every time in that language only. This is we in Sir's play, Utpal Datta's play, use of slangs are there, but we used in 2019's manner. We used in 2020's manner, 2021's manner. We improvised something. This is something, it's tough for the audience to get in touch with that sort of languages. But this is the difference between the class, actually, on stage and those who are watching. They are from different class, and those who are performing, all truck drivers, lorry drivers, জেলায় জেলায় লরি ড্রাইভার যারা বিলং করে, তারা অন্য ভাষায় কথা বলছে. The clash of these languages, it's tough to receive, but this is the real fact. Actually, I can give you one example. In Kolkata, দিদি আপনি জানবেন যে এই যখন বিশ্বকর্মা পুজো হয়, আমরা দেখি যে রাস্তায় প্যান্ডেল করে সবাই হয়তো একটু ড্রাঙ্ক এবং নাচছে. তখন হয়তো কিছু গাড়ি করে যারা পাস করছে, তারা দেখে বলে ছোট লোক, ওই রাস্তা দিয়ে যাওয়া যায়, ঘটনাটা একই। ওদের মাথায় ছাদ নেই, ওদের কোনো প্রাইভেট প্লেস নেই, তাই তারা রাস্তায় ড্রিঙ্ক করে এবং রাস্তায় নাচে। এই এই সোসাইটিটাকে ঘুম নেই রিফ্লেক্ট করে। যে গাড়ি করে যাচ্ছে, যে গালাগালি দিল, যে বলল ছোট লোক, সে একটা প্রাইভেট প্লেস পায় টু গেট ড্রাঙ্ক অ্যান্ড টু ডান্স। আর বিশ্বকর্মা পুজোয় ওই শ্রমিক, অটো ড্রাইভার, রিক্সা ড্রাইভার, তার কাছে কোনো প্রাইভেট প্লেস নেই, তার রুফ নেই, সে ওখানে দাঁড়িয়ে নাচে। দ্যাটস ওয়াই উই কল দিস প্লে অ্যাজ ছোট লোকস প্লে। দ্য ক্লাস অ্যাকচুয়ালি, ছোট লোক ডিটারমাইন্স দি ক্লাস। টাফ হয়ে যায়, যে গাড়ি করে যায় তার জন্য নিতে, কথাগুলো রিসিভ করতে ইট গেটস টাফ সামটাইমস, বাট ইটস আ ছোট লোকস প্লে। অ্যান্ড আমরা চাই যে একটু কানে লাগুক, একটু অসুবিধে হোক, এবং সেটা রিসিভ করতে একটু রিসিভার্স এন্ডে একটু ট্রাবল ক্রিয়েট হোক, তাতে আমাদের কোনো সমস্যা হয় না। মানে আমরা 500 লোক 700 লোক প্রতি শোতে দেখে, আবার দ্য ফ্যাক্ট ইজ দ্যাট একজন হয়তো এটাও বলে কথাটা নেওয়া যাচ্ছে না, বড্ড লুজ, কারণ ওটা ওই একটা বড় ইকোনমিক স্ট্র্যাটা থেকে বিলং করে, ওই ইকোনমিক স্ট্র্যাটার কথাগুলো নিতে একটু অসুবিধা হয়। মানে ওই একই রকম ভাবে যেটা ঘটে আর কি, মানে কারুর রিলিজিয়ন যদি মুসলিম হয় আর সে যদি কোনো প্রোগ্রেসিভ কথা বলে, তখন ওই সো কল লিবারেল হিন্দুসদের যে প্রবলেমটা তৈরি হয় যে আমি নিতে পারছি না, ওটা বাজে কথা, ওটা সে ইসলামিক পয়েন্ট অফ ভিউ থেকে কথা বলছে, একদম সেটা অডিয়েন্স পয়েন্ট অফ ভিউ থেকে সেই সমস্যাটা ক্রিয়েট করারই আমরা চেষ্টা করেছি, যে এই ক্লাসটার ধাক্কাটা লাগুক, যে রিসিভার্স এন্ডে ওই স্ট্রাগলটা হোক, যে স্ট্রাগলটা যারা পারফর্ম করছে লরি ড্রাইভারদের, শ্রমিকদের স্ট্রাগলটা আছে। দ্যাটস ইট।
What you're talking about is so important, this intersectionality, right? And today, when class divides are getting stronger, how do we encounter people, who we think belong to other different groups and different class and different caste? And what is so fascinating that, it's a very important play by a Marxist playwright. So while at one time we are supposed to feel sympathy, what you are saying, Saurav, is, how also to create an alienation in a more Brechtian mode. And I think that's a, brilliant observation. And also, what the example you brought out about Vishwakarma Pujo, that there's a cultural diversity which sometimes a middle class sensibility cannot take. And we know how, the subaltern studies has tried to look at these groups. Right. And I think, you brought in the right dialectics in it. So shall we just move a bit to the production and the production process? Because, in Bengali theatre, there's been a long debate about content and form. And we know, playwrights, directors who even wrote the play, I'm mentioning Utpal Dutt, there was a whole thing that political theatre needs to focus on the content. Form will come, though the experiments should not stop. And I see you all have won awards across in the production, right? In lighting, in music, in costume, as well as the best supporting actor, for which a lot of it is due to you, Saurav, because you train your actors as you go along. So I was just wondering if each of you would like to speak a bit on the production process and, your contribution to it and your work. So Saurav, why don't you start and we then go to Soumen, Apratim and Debdeep.
I am giving the intro of our production, then Apratim, Soumen and Debdeep will carry forward it. Actually, in our production, Ghoom Nei, we tried to make it as an ensemble production. Not that light will dominate acting, acting will dominate light, music will dominate light, light will dominate music, nothing. We tried to move parallelly, we tried to move in a straight railway track, and hopefully we achieved some path, but not the whole, but some path we achieved. Ghoom Nei, Didi, as you told, a পলিটিক্যাল প্লে হলে কন্টেন্টের দিকে বেশি নজর থাকে, ঠিক আমরাও সেটাই রাখতে চেয়েছি, কারণ এই টেক্সটটা তো আমরা যারা এখন থিয়েটারটা করছি তারা লিখিনি, এই টেক্সটটা আমরা চুজ করেছি, আমরা আমরা এই টেক্সটটা ভেবেছি এই সময় প্রয়োজনীয়, কারণ কেউ এই টেক্সটটা নিয়ে কেউ কাজ করছে না। লাস্টে নক্ষত্র শেষে কাজ করেছিলেন নক্ষত্র নাট্যদল, তারপরে আমাদের মনে হলো যে আমাদের জেনারেশন যদি না করি সেটা ভুল, মানে একটা ভুল মেসেজ যাবে, না করাটা উইল বি রং মেসেজ। তো আমরা অলওয়েজ ট্রাই করেছি কি যে প্রোডাকশনটা কন্টেন্টের সঙ্গেও বাকি অনসাম্বল বিষয়টা, মানে সেট ডিজাইন, আমরা সেটটা যেমন এই মেটাতেও যখন আমরা ড্রপ ইন করেছিলাম তখন উই মেনশনড কি সেট মেড বাই ইচ্ছে মতো অনসাম্বল, আমরা কেউ ইন্ডিভিজুয়ালি এই সেটটা বানাইনি, আমরা ওই ধাবা ভিজিট করে ধাবার কিছু কানেকশন তৈরি করে একদম রিয়েলিস্টিক কিছু, সৌমেন সেখানে লাইটে রিয়েলিস্টিক জায়গা তৈরি করেছে, অনেক বাল্ব চেঞ্জ রিয়েলিস্টিক জিনিসপত্র দিয়ে, মানে যেটা সবসময় ফার্স্ট ইমপ্রেশন যখন ফার্স্ট বেলে বা একটু আগে অডিয়েন্স ঢুকে বসছে, দে শুড গেট দি ইম্প্যাক্ট অফ আ ধাবা, যেটা খানিকটা এই মেটাতে আমরা 10th জুলাই যখন পারফর্ম করব, আমি জানি ম্যাক্সিমাম অডিটোরিয়ামেই আমরা লাইট ইউজ করতে পারি না, সেইটা একটা প্রবলেমের জায়গা ইন ধাবা স্টাইল আর্ট ডিরেকশন, যেখানে আমরা কিছু অরিজিনাল লাইটস ইউজ করতাম, সেখানে এখানে উই হ্যাভ টু ইউজ সাম সাবস্টিটিউট আর্টিফিশিয়াল ল্যাম্পস মেবি, but we'll still try to create the same ambience what we used to do in Kolkata and different areas, different auditoriums. আমরা ওইটা অনেক বেশি প্রাধান্য দিয়েছিলাম যে কন্টেন্টটা যেহেতু ওই ক্লাসের ওই লেবার ক্লাসের, তাহলে অ্যাম্বিয়েন্সটাও সেই সোসাইটিকে যেন রিফ্লেক্ট করে, সেইটা আমরা অনেক বেশি করে ট্রাই করেছি। এবং আমার একটা, আমি জাস্ট আই ওয়ান্ট টু গেট ইনটু ওয়ান লাইন, শ্রমিক বন্দ্যোপাধ্যায় এই নাটকটা দেখলেন, দেখে শ্রমিক দা কোটেড ওয়ান লাইন, দিদি আই ওয়ান্ট টু শেয়ার উইথ ইউ, শ্রমিক দা কোটেড ওয়ান লাইন যে আমি অনেক নাটক দেখেছি উইথ আ ল্যান্ডস্কেপ, মানে আর্ট ডিজাইনটাকে উনি মেনশন করছিলেন যে অনেক নাটক দেখেছি উইথ ল্যান্ডস্কেপ, এই প্রথম আমি একটা নাটক দেখলাম যেটা সোসাইটাল স্কেপ, হ্যাঁ, যে আমি উইথ দি আর্ট আই এম গেটিং দি সোসাইটি, এইটা আমাদের মূল টার্গেট ছিল, উইথ দি আর্ট অ্যান্ড লাইট অ্যান্ড মিউজিক অ্যান্ড দি ডায়ালেক্ট, সেখান থেকে যেন ক্লাসটা এবং সোসাইটিটা রিফ্লেক্টেড হয়, এইটাই আমাদের প্রধান প্ল্যানিং ছিল। দেন অ্যাক্টিং প্রসেস, রিয়েলিস্টিক অ্যাক্টিং, উই ফোকাসড অন মেনলি রিয়েলিস্টিক অ্যাক্টিং প্রসেস, লাইট, মিউজিক came along with the way, nothing imposed and nothing artificially planned, it just goes along with the play and the process. Rest Soumen, Debdeep and Apratim will tell the process.
This is really important because you're trying to bring out the materiality of it rather than using scenography as a metaphor, which is so important in, you know, putting across the politics. Yes, Soumen, would you want to come in?
আমাদের সবার টোটালি যে লাইটটা যেভাবে আমরা ডেভেলপ করেছি, যে স্পেসটাকে কিভাবে করা যায়, বা ধরো ধাবাটার অ্যাম্বিয়েন্স করার জন্য ওই সময় কি ধরনের আলো ইউজ হতো, এই ধরনের একটু বলতে পারো?
রাইট রাইট অ্যাকচুয়ালি দিদি, মানে মেনলি যেটা হয়েছিল যখন আলোচনাও আমাদের হয়েছিল যে টেক্সটটা যেহেতু 2019-এর নয়, আমরা করছি 2019-এ, সেই অনুপাতে আমরা চেষ্টা করেছিলাম যে কি করে সেই সময়টাকেও রেলেভেন্ট রাখা যায়, লম্প ব্যবহার করা বা হ্যারিকেন ব্যবহার করা বা উনুনের আলোটা স্পেসিফিক্যালি ব্যবহার করা, বা একদম ওই দড়িতে বিড়ি সিগারেট খাওয়ার জন্য দড়িতে আগুন ধরানোটা এখন যেমন একদমই কমে গেছে, আমরাও ছোটবেলায় কলকাতায় প্রচুর সেটা দেখেছি। এখন অবশ্য মফস্বলের দিকে দেখতে পাওয়া যায়, কিন্তু কলকাতার দিকে সেইভাবে এখন সবাই দড়িতে লাইটার ঝোলে। আগে একদম ওই দড়িতে যে আগুনটা ঝুলতো সেইগুলোকে ব্যবহার করা, এবং ইউজ অফ নেকেড বাল্বস। এবং সৌমেন did one nice thing. We put one chain of naked bulbs, এবং সব কটাতে জ্বলে না। দ্য রিয়েল পার্ট ইজ কয়েকটা তো কাটা থাকবেই, মানে সব কটা একটা ধাবার মধ্যে জ্বলছে, তাহলে ইট উইল বি আ ডিজাইন। আমরা যাতে ওটা ডিজাইন মনে না হয়, সৌমেন ডিড দ্যাট পার্ট ভেরি ওয়েল। কয়েকটা বাল্ব কাটা এবং জাস্ট বাল্বটা লাগানো থাকে, ওটা কোনো ইউজ নেই, কোনো জ্বলে না, স্বাভাবিকভাবেই জ্বলবে না। মানে নর্মালি দেখে মনে হবে ওয়াই, as because this we tried to keep it in a realistic way, in realistic manner. এইটা সৌমেন প্রচন্ড ভাবে ট্রাই করেছে লাইটে পুরোটা। সৌমেন পুট ওয়ান, আমরা এই যে লাস্টে টেক্সটায় আপনি জানেন দিদি, ওই ইন্দ্র চরিত্রটা পার হতে পারলো কি পারলো না, ওই পুলটা ভাঙা, পার হতে পারছে কি পারছে না। উই ক্রিয়েটেড আ metaphorical truck and design in the set only. সৌমেন একটা কাজ করেছিল খুব ভালো, সেটা খুবই ইন্টারেস্টিং। প্লেটার সাথে সাথে ওটা গ্রো করে। একদম লরির দুটো হেডলাইট একদম অ্যাপ্রনে ডাউন স্টেজে একটু ওপরে, ওটাও ব্যবহার করে ওই টু গেট দ্য ট্রাক ফিল। আর প্রতি ট্রাক ড্রাইভারদের আসা as a heroic entry of every truck drivers. We designed every truck driver's entry as a Shahrukh Khan's entry type of. Soumen put that headlight as truck driver's point of view, and that is brilliant. That is actually ওই সময়টা স্টেজটা ডার্ক, পুরো অডিয়েন্সটা লিট আপ, যখন জাস্ট ট্রাকটা স্টার্ট হয় টুয়ার্ডস সামনের দিকে এগোনো। তো এবার ওই সামনের দিকে এগোনোর জন্য অডিয়েন্সটা লিট আপ থাকে, সব স্টেজটা ডার্ক থাকে, এন্ড স্টেজ বিকাম পজ। ওখানটা ওরম ভাবে একটা ডিজাইন করা, ওখানে সৌমেন ট্রিমেন্ডাসলি ওই হেডলাইটের একটা ডিজাইন দিয়ে, এবং আমরা একদম গাড়ির হেডলাইটই ব্যবহার করেছি অরিজিনাল। এমন না ওখানে দুটো পার লাগানো আছে যেটা থেকে আলোটা বেরোচ্ছে। এই রিয়েলিস্টিক ডিজাইন গুলো পুরোটা সৌমেন লাইটে আমরা একসঙ্গে, যখন পুরোটা পথ চলাটা একসঙ্গে হয়েছিল শুরু থেকে, ও এইভাবে ডিজাইনটা করেছিল। সৌমেন, আমি আর কিছু মেনশন করার মিস করলাম কি?
So what you're saying is really a very, sort of important innovation in theater lighting, right? With the headlights falling, and sort of a silhouette. And I'm really looking forward to seeing it, because that also has a whole history from Brecht's Arturo V to, Heine Müller to Godfather, where those, they kill in front of those lights. Yes, I think that's a really brilliant way to show it. Apratim, because you also looked at the production, do you want to come in here? Because I know you did costume, but you also do a lot of stage managerial work, and I can see you all do it as a team. So do you want to come in?
Yeah, obviously. Actually, I want to share one interesting fact about this. So when we are searching for a new play in 2019, so we are attending meetings, and we came with some XYZ scripts. So one day, one boy, his name is Shojol, of our team, he came with this text, Ghoom Nei. And the interesting part is, he himself that time was a Swiggy delivery boy. So it was very, what can I say? So we take it very seriously. Then we read it again. Then we all decide, now we will go with this text. So if we talk, if I'm going to talk about the process, actually every time we, as a team, encourage every member of our team to do something new. So when the production is going to rehearse or going to start, we like Shraddha told me that time ki, you did assisting or you did set for the previous play. Now just try costume for once. That time, three facts actually আমার যখন মানে তিনটে দিকে আমার খুব বলতে ইচ্ছে করছে এখন যে তখন আমরা যখন ওই একটা ট্রাক ড্রাইভারদের নিয়ে কাজ করছিলাম, তো পুরোটাই যে আমরা খুব একটা প্রসেসের মধ্যে দিয়ে যাব এরকম কখনো ভাবিনি। তো আমরা যখন ট্রাক ড্রাইভার যে চরিত্রগুলো হচ্ছিল বা যখন রিহার্সাল শুরু হলো, এক একজন এক এক রকম ভাবে কথা বলা শুরু করলো, এক একজন এক এক রকম ভাবে এক একটা ডায়ালেক্ট নিয়ে এলো, তো তখন আমরা লাইক আমাদের ফোকাসটা যে ঠিক আছে আমরা একটু ট্রাক ড্রাইভারদের ফলো করি, তারা কিরকম কস্টিউম করছে সেটা দেখি, সেটার থেকে বেরিয়ে আমরা একটু ট্রাই করলাম যে এভরি ট্রাক ড্রাইভার হ্যাজ ইটস ওন ফ্যামিলি and he from where he comes, how he অ্যাকচুয়ালি সে কিভাবে বাঁচে। তো আমরা ট্রাই করলাম, আমরা ইনিশিয়ালি আলোচনা করছিলাম এভাবেই যে তারা কে, তারা কোথা থেকে আসছে। তো তো সেই সবসময় যে আমরা ওই ট্রাক ড্রাইভাররা কি পড়ে, ট্রাক ড্রাইভাররা কি পড়ে চালাতে স্বচ্ছন্দ বোধ করে, সেটার থেকে আমরা ট্রাই করলাম একটু যে যদি আমরা একটু ভাবতে পারি যে তারা কোথা থেকে আসছে সেভাবে। তো সেটা একটা দিক ছিল। আরেকটা দিক যেটা আমাদের ইন্টারেস্টিংলি যে এখানে আমরা মোরলেস যাদের নিয়ে কাজ করেছি সবাই রুরাল বেঙ্গল থেকে বিলং করে অ্যাক্টররা। তো এখানটায় দুটো চরিত্র, একটা হচ্ছে চিত্রকূট সিং যে একজন পাঞ্জাবি কিন্তু সে রুরাল বেঙ্গল থেকে বিলং করে।
Can you put in as many English words as possible?
I'm trying.
As all India
not so good.
Okay. So yeah, this is absolutely fascinating. You're talking about how you all observe the truck drivers and what they wear today, and you saw there's a shift from how the costume could be, how the properties could be, and you were just talking about three things which was very important for you. Please continue.
So that time there is a character called Chitrakoot Singh who is actually a Punjabi guy, but he lives in a rural Bengal circumstances. So we also interestingly put some Bengali element in Punjabi style. So basically there was not actually, what can I say, there was not a concrete process, but we just go with the flow and go with the rehearsal and how actors are reacting with the circumstances and the situations. And we also decided to like he should carry this lungi like this, or he should carry a gamcha, and we just to help the light ambience, we also tried to that time we just make it a slightly cold seasonal kind of flavor just to add. So just it was the process. And one more thing I want to add, actually সেটের জায়গায় তো এবং মানে সবটাই আমরা যখন করছিলাম তো কিছুই আমরা আগে থেকে ডিসাইড করছিলাম না। তো we just go to the rehearsal room and decide কি চলো এখানে একটা কিছু পুট করো, এখানে একটা কিছু পুট করো। তো এটাই আমার মনে হয় যে আরো মানে অ্যাক্টরদেরও খুব হেল্প হয়েছে টু গ্যাদার অর টু ক্যারি, জাস্ট এটাই।
So is this your usual process of working, or was it very particular about this play because it looked at, the realities of everyday life, so that you all responded and improvised as the rehearsal proceeded? Is that how you look at it? And Soumen, if you want to come back, and talk about, because you talked about the lighting and Apratim brought in how the properties and the costume were meant to meld. So would you like to talk about how you designed the light according to it, or
actually, Didi, we used a different filter paper also here. Not actually the warm tone or the cyan tone, but this is some particles of dust on. If we put some dust on tungsten, what it becomes, that we maintain that color tone, and that is not absolutely, that is not accurate in video. That is for the live audience. That is for theater. That is not for video. That is only for theater. We use that dust on tungsten. The feel as if the area is full of dust, as because the dhaba is just beside the highway. There should be the dust, and we used that tone actually in every set element, light element, costume element, uh, everything. We used that dust, and in the set also we used real water, মুখ ধোয়ার জল, খেয়ে কুলকুচি করার জল, একদম we made it real. We tried to make it real. We just put as if we put one Baharampur's dhaba in a proscenium stage. Nothing else. We tried to just replicate any of the highways dhaba in yes, in case of light, art, and costume, and acting, and rest all things. We put it in our mind that this is of 70s, 69, 70s play we are doing in 2019, but we have to maintain some parity. In 2019, there shouldn't have such problem. If I think as 70s, there shouldn't have such problem. We maintain that theme line on the entire thing: light, set, art, properties, costume, acting, everything. We just try to maintain that, nothing else.
So let's go to Debdeep and
Yeah.
talk about the soundscape, because you all gave a very vivid description of the scenographies.
Yeah.
Now, what about the soundscape? Because
Most important part. We and Debdeep is very experimental musician amongst us in Kolkata.
That's why he won the award. I know there was very tough competition. So
Debdeep also done our another play, Captain Hurra, Bhalobasha Podaboli, and Ghoom Nei. Debdeep is marvelous. Debdeep, tumi bolo.
Okay. So good evening to everyone. Bishnupriya. So it's very. I feel very happy working with Saurav and Ichamuto. From the very beginning, I was concerned. How will I execute all these things? How will I? It was pressure on me. So I took it very seriously. For Ghoom Nei, I was really struggling what to write and what to complement all those what is written, something written by Utpal Dutt sir, and I am just a little boy who is trying to cope up with this society, and I will write something for my music and songs. So it was really hard. But when I heard for the first time and the second time when I heard the script, it was quite easy, because what Saurav was following, basic instincts of human being. He was trying to prioritize those emotions of basic human things. He was not trying to make unnecessary complicated situations. He was trying to go with the flow. At the same time, he was trying to keep things easy to see, but hard to receive. He was the way Ghoom Nei has been executed. It was I completely depend on Saurav, and at the same time, he has done a brilliant job. The way he was thinking, I just tried to complement my thoughts to him, and while doing the music, I tried to catch all those emotions, like the something mellow at the same time, something very, very powerful at the same time. I tried to keep pace with all those moods and colors that were happening throughout the stage, and the characters that were happening on the stage, and this type of conversation that was going on the stage. So it was very beautiful. Actually, we all were representing our real self. We all were representing the actors, the live part, the music part. We were all representing ourselves, because Ghoom Nei is a play where we need to focus, and where we need to focus on we need to reject manipulation. We need to reject a bit of manipulation. We need to act, or we need to participate. We need to focus. We need to complement with our instincts, at the same time with our daily practices. We need to remember what we were doing when all these things were happening. When someone used to abuse us, when someone used to tell a good thing about us, when someone used to talk softly, when someone used to talk loudly, when someone used to try to hit us. These are all the things that created the Ghoom Nei's holistic mood. So I was trying to complement that.
So
I was trying to.
you are also a musician and you play in bands. So I was wondering how different it is when you actually work in the theater, because as you mentioned that, this is a play in the 1960s, and we know in the 1960s, not particularly for Ghoom Nei, but other productions which were, directed by Utpal Dutt and written. Pandit Ravi Shankar used to create the music. And, it's very different because the effect is more important. And again, the materiality, though I don't know if sound can create the materiality. So if you'd like to talk about, how you change your role as, the music composer when you are playing for a concert or you're doing the theater.
This is the language that used to be in 1960s. Now we are not talking in the same language. Language, it's like the flow. It's like the flow. So we changed how we talk. We changed how we feel. We changed how we express. So in 2022, I think it is a good process and a good thought process to for Ghoom Nei, that the way we are living now, we represent that. Let's represent that through lyrics, through music, through the journey that Ghoom Nei text is trying to create an impression on us. The language, I just want to.
What are the music you used? What sort of music did you use? A bit more specific about the play, because I'm really looking forward to the soundscape.
The technicalities I want to mention is that, like we tried recorded sound as well as the real sound to come together. There's a place where that guy, where two people were having a conversation about a guy who is not having a proper work, who has lost his job.
The main protagonist.
The Indro, and Akhlaq was trying to console him. He was trying to talk to him, and he was trying to comfort him. So now the way we have used the music is Krishnendu was singing it from the back, and Akhlaq was singing. And when the same, in another situation, when everyone was feeling comfortable, when everyone was feeling a little bit joy, then the recorded sound was coming from the background, and it was filling the whole ambience. So the same song with two different palette, with two different way to represent it. So we tried all these things. Then we tried not the real instrument, but the VST tones and other softwares to create the main title track of Ghoom Nei, which we can.
One more thing. One more thing I want to add to Debdeep's line, Didi. We made one interesting thing. We have used many live songs in Ghoom Nei, and we used যেটা আমরা গ্রামে বলি খেউর ওই pattern. We used some খেউর songs, and we used daily utensils. ওই কলাইয়ে থালা, ছোট স্টিলের কাপ, চামচ.
I remember one thing. While we were when the script reading session was going on, I and Saurav had a discussion. Then I found a very powerful performance. Haka is a very powerful performance. So I and Saurav was discussing if this power we can generate in Ghoom Nei. The power of Haka, the way they represent a culture, the way they represent their so powerful representation of their culture. So if we can represent these lorry drivers' culture powerfully, and we can focus it, we can represent it through our script and music and light and through our play.
So Saurav, I know you are also very involved with music. You yourself is very involved in it. So if you would like to, sort of now bring the production together, and particularly one aspect which you as a director must have intervened, acting, like, how do your actors know how to play truck drivers? What are the, improvisation and impulses you do? And, if you would like to also use it to sum up, I think we're nearing the end of this session.
Yeah, absolutely. No, Didi, I go into one such process. I don't put something on actors. Every actors of Ghoom Nei, they have watched many truck drivers, because as Apratim mentioned earlier, we have maximum actors from Mofosshol, from South Chobbish Pargona, North Chobbish Pargona, and they are used to with such truck drivers' ambience and truck drivers' style of talking. They have not been into their life, but they have seen their life, but they have touched them, they have felt them. That's why I haven't pushed anything on them. We gone through a workshop. They tried to make something. I told something. Then we tried to watch some different films relating to this. We tried to take something from there and put it in here. We have done such bits and little bits process, and we tried only one thing. If I see Apratim acts one of the main characters in Ghoom Nei, if Apratim speaks as Apratim belongs to Raigod. Apratim is not a Kolkata guy. He belongs to Raigod. He works in Kolkata. He have his own dialect. He have his own pattern of language that is not usual in Academy of Fine Arts. That is something different, something that belongs to that class. He knows that language. He knows that living. I just taken his language. I just taken his style, and we put it, amalgamated in something in a new bottle, and we tried to do a simple thing. What we are doing on stage, that shouldn't be a alien towards audience. সেটা যেন বিশ্বাস হয়, সেটা যেন at least একটা reaching capability থাকে, at least একটা accepting capability থাকে, and we are not forcing any actors to make someone laugh, make someone angry, make someone emotional. We are not doing that. The Apratim go on stage and make everybody laugh. No, we are not doing that. Apratim and XYZ actors, what they are doing, that is generating a laughter or generating a emotional sequence or generating a anger, but they are not producing that. That is our mool criteria. We will not do anything, but audience will receive everything. We focused on that majorly. in case of light and music and everything, will not, as if sometimes Didi, you might you have seen many uh, actors are doing much, but at receiving end you are not getting anything. We basically try to do the just opposite. In the play we will do nothing, we'll just behave. In case of music, in case of light, in case of acting, in case of properties usage, we'll just behave. Audience will get everything and they will connect it with, if after the show their card will pass a truck driver, and if a man sitting beside a truck driver putting his head out and spitting on the road, and he himself will call Chotolok, and he will connect in earlier 30 minutes. I have seen such a guy who is spitting and doing loose stuff on stage, on dhaba, on public ambience. We tried to do that only, nothing else.
Apratim, do you want to respond? Because, I believe you've also done one of the main roles. And what Saurav is saying, that, how you are playing and building the character according to certain characteristics and identity. You all just don't do it in a superficial way like a gimmick, right? The gestures are very sort of, inherent in the characterization. So do you want to just pick up on that and then?
Yes, actually, we also do one more thing. Just before the rehearsal, before the main rehearsal, or the after the rehearsal, we just we the actors, or the, like, one scene I and another co-actors of mine, we just sit and we just talk about the terms, the words which are too close to the land, too close to the root. We just collect those words, or we just pick those words and put in between our dialogues. So just it makes the line maybe is so simple. Just and just we put our word which is so close to the root, or which is used mainly in rural sector in South Chobbish Pargana, or say in a borderline area. We just put some words like this, like just put those words and put in just take those words and put in between our dialogues, and it helps us to express ourselves more closer to the truck drivers, or like this. So it is also an interesting process that time in between. And after the first show, and after and still today, we just talk to each other. We the actors of Ghoom Nei, always just before the show or before a rehearsal, we just meet together and talk to each other as if I am playing Nokul, and I'm acting like Nokul in real life, just before the rehearsal, and I'm convey myself, convey my words, like Apratim words in a Nokul's way. So every actor did this that time. So it also helps us, actually. It also helps us, and again, we just trying to behave what the situation demands that time. Just this.
I just want to put one thing, Didi, just a line. I want to add one line. Uh, uh, we have done a simple thing. What Apratim have mentioned. All actors, we have done a thing that why we are doing Ghoom Nei. This is an out and out political play, and we believe in this politics, and we want this. And actually, what is the need of this society? This all bits and pieces things, all actors equipped with that. They know the political space, why we are doing Ghoom Nei, and they know the political demand. If I think Ghoom Nei is a 2019's play only, they all 16 members, on stage 16 members, they all know what is the political demand all laborers should want right now. Right now, all our unorganized sectors wants right now. They all know this. That urge of new help the actor a lot. The urge of change, urge of union help all the actors a lot. They believed in that, they stayed with that, they dreamt of that, and each and everybody, they in real life also, they are fighting for that, they are participating in that. In unorganized sector, there must be a union, they are participating in that, they are going for a movement. All they know is the politics, all thing what we are talking in 1 hour, that is one word, politics, and what politics we need actually. That is Ghoom Nei, that all actors equipped with that. That is the ultimate, nothing else. We focused on only that.
And I think you've succeeded. Ghoom Nei is running to full houses in Calcutta. They have large audience. And I don't think it's, politics which is didactic. You're, sort of trying to give make it a propaganda. But it's sort of coming out of a alienated middle-class existence. And what I understood from the production, and I'm really looking forward to seeing it, challenging this consumerism, this, neoliberal culture of consumption, to actually bring in groups who are almost lost, about whom we don't do theater anymore, about whom we don't think anymore. And I really appreciate, the way you all have come forward to do it. And, I'm really looking forward to its staging in the Meta Festival on the 10th of July.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
It will be a great pleasure.
Thank you so much. This was such a fascinating and such an amazing conversation. Thank you, Saurav, Apratim, Soumen, and Debdeep, and Bishnupriya for moderating the session so beautifully. Once again, we would like to thank the Mahindra Group for their unstinted support for the arts. And thank you all for watching and being such a great audience. And if you are in Delhi NCR, please join us in celebrating the 4 winning plays from Meta 2020 at the 17th edition from July 7th to July 10th at Kamani Auditorium from 7 p.m. onwards. You can book your tickets on bookmyshow.com. The tickets are running out soon, so please go today and book your tickets, and hope to see you all again. Thank you once again, and see you soon.